Who are you?
My name's Ron Reyes.
Ron, and what bands have you been in?
There's been in many bands, but the one that most people know is Black Flag and the Red Cross.
And you're here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada.
Yeah, have been here for like 20 years almost.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome you to Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, but you've been here for 20 years.
Yeah, I love it here. It's great.
It's taken me 20 years to interview you.
I'm a slow starter.
And Ron, if I'd been walking down 4th Avenue a few years ago, I might have gone into a shop and seen you. And what shop would have that been?
That's right, yeah, the Flag Shop.
The Flag Shop,
Interesting.
which I thought is quite amazing. You were in Black Flag, and you now work in a flag shop.
That's right, yeah.
Has anybody bought a Black Flag?
You know what? I've never made a Black Flag. The closest thing I made was a Black Flag for Skull Skates, and it was black, but it had their logo on it. And that was cool.
Continuing on here with Ron Reyes, looking through California Hardcore, the book. Also on the page, the Hong Kong Cafe.
Yeah, the Hong Kong Cafe. That was a great place. I mean, tons of it. That's where I got my Germans burn, right outside the Hong.
You had a Germans burn.
Yeah.
You still have it today? Can you show us?
That's right there. Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing.
Let's zero in on that right now.
It's kind of embarrassing, but and to tell you the truth, I can't remember if it was Darby who gave that to me or Melissa or I can't remember, but it was right outside the Hong Kong Cafe.
Now, what is a Germans burn for people that don't know?
Well,
They just saw it.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the Germs were a very strange group of people, and they were, it was almost cult-like, and there was a very in crowd, and I guess the idea was that there was only maybe a few select people that would get these, and they had to be done by a member or someone close to the Germs, and somehow I ended up
Done by cigarette.
Yeah, done by cigarette, exactly, with a cigarette burn, and it hurt like hell, and it just was infected for ages, and it was totally stupid, but whatever.
What is this? What can you tell people about this poster right here? The dish rags and?
Black Flag, yeah, and the Bludgeon Pigs. And this is actually a huge influence to why we're doing what we're doing on Saturday night, because I was actually going through some stuff that Scott Beadle had on Facebook and looking at these posters, and I was thinking, wow, the Bludgeon Pigs, and how much I'd love to play with Tony, and because me and Tony used to play in the Bludgeon Pigs together, and because I was in that band for a while when I moved up here, and I said, man, it'd be great to play with Tony again. And then I started thinking about, it'd be really great. Another poster from the same era, I think the second time we came up, had Rabid on the bill, and Rabid was always one of my favorite Vancouver bands, and I just love John Doe's guitar playing. So I thought, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be great to play with Tony and John Doe? And that was kind of the starting point of doing this whole thing that we're doing on Saturday night for my birthday.
Because at that time, you were the singer of?
Black Flag.
It's not my imagination! Well, I got a gun on my back! Truth might never become back! We're gonna get revenge! You won't know what it's you! We're tired of being screwed! Don't tell me about tomorrow! Don't tell me what I get! I can't think of a rest with! Just around the corner! There's a better cold flavors waiting for me! Revenge! That's what I need! Revenge! I will cry if you die! We're gonna get revenge! You won't know what hits you! We're tired of being screwed! Revenge!
Well, I was sort of wondering about your agenda, your anarchy-ness, Ron Reyes, because on page 23 of the book, Going Underground, it talks about you, Ron, in Seattle, not at a gig, but hanging out in Seattle. Do you remember hanging out in Seattle at all?
Yes, several times, especially when I couldn't get into Canada and I'd have to go back and
And you were hanging out at a music, or was it a theater, I think, perhaps?
oh my gosh.
And you decided to have a piss.
Man, you do your homework. Yeah, I was with Kyle and a bunch of guys from Seattle, and I don't know what movie we were seeing, but when you gotta go, you gotta go, and there we were, and there we went. So
Well, speak.
and theaters are kind of slanted down, so I don't know who was sitting in front of me, but God help them.
There's a quote here that we have. Quote, "So I just walked off stage."
Yeah, that was at the Fleetwood. Yeah. Yeah, I had no intentions to quit the band, really. It's just, it was one of those moments where I was on stage and I looked around, and this scene that was developing was just like, it was just a little bit of a zoo out there, and I really felt like it wouldn't have mattered if I was preaching a sermon or, talking about the green grass or whatever. It wouldn't have mattered. The people were just going to just do their thing anyway. And so I thought, well, what's the point of this? And so I just didn't really want to be part of that. And I think I had some friends there, and certainly my girlfriend from Vancouver was there. And, people were getting hurt. And I just that's not what I was into.
You just walked off the stage.
Yeah, I think I said something like, yeah, I don't want to be the background to this crap or something like that to that effect, and then I just walked off. And like I said, at that particular point, it wasn't like, oh, I'm quitting the band, I'm leaving and moving to Canada. It was just, it was living in the moment, and it was just, I didn't want to be part of that at that particular moment. But then it was just like, the band kept on playing, and which was right. I mean, I would have, not thought for them to do it any other way, but part of me said, well, the audience doesn't care and the band doesn't seem to care anyway, so I guess it's time to move on.
Eddie and the Subtitles.
Eddie Subtitles, yeah, definitely seen them for sure. I was at a Eddie and the Subtitles show, and I think David Lee Roth was there, and me and Steve tried to run down David Lee Roth in our car, and we almost killed David Lee Roth. And Keith Morris was in the back seat, and Keith Morris reached over. I was aiming my car for David Lee Roth, and Keith Morris reached over the seat and said, "Ron, don't do that," and pulled the seat. And so, David Lee Roth, you owe your life to Keith Morris.
Ron Reyes, years ago when you first contacted me, you told me you had gone from the anarchist cookbook to the Bible.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
So what do you think about stuff like this? For instance, this book right here, The Devil's Disciples. If we open it up right here onto page 267, you were actually in this, Ron.
No, get out of here. I am not.
Indirectly, you're in The Devil's Disciples. Thanks to groups like the Plasmatics, Black Flag, and the Sex Pistols, the boundary line between the two huge audiences, punk and hippie, has been erased, allowing them all to come together in one gigantic mass orgy of satanic destruction.
Yeah, I think they're talking about Henry's version of Black Flag, not mine.
Boom. So reflecting back on this, you've had 30 years to think about your Black Flag stint. What did it all mean?
Well, I don't know. I think that it certainly seems to be an important thing to some people. And, I get people who contact me and say thank you, for the stuff you did. And it was a real inspiration. And particularly the fact that, I was Hispanic. And, at that point, a lot of the bands were, kind of like white middle class. And, there was a few of us, of course, Pat Fear and stuff like that. And Pat Smear. And there were some minorities and stuff. But so there was that. And I guess just the message, just the angst and stuff. But all of us were singing that stuff. So I don't know if there was anything unique, but it resonates with people.
Did you ever think, Ron, lastly, thanks for speaking to me, Nardwuar the Human Serviette, that punk rock would turn into punk rock aerobics?
No, I don't even want to look at that. That's just stupid.
Well, I think it's great. Punk rock aerobics.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
that's what punk rock has come to.
25 killer moves, 50 punk classics, and 25 reasons to get off your ass and exercise. Well, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I should give this to my wife, and I probably need it more than her. So
it's a great book, and you helped pave the way for punk rock aerobics. That's your legacy, Ron Reyes.
There you go. All right. Well, stay healthy, stay fit, and do your exercise, and come to the show.
Well, thanks so much, Ron Reyes. Keep on rocking in the free world, and doot-doodaloot-doo.
Dude. Right on. A fan, a Nardwuar fan. Awesome. Why wouldn't you be a Nardwuar fan?